was teaching my own format called Pop Pilates at the local 24-hour fitness, which was Pilates to pop music. At the time, Pilates was done to classical, very slow, but because I love dance and I love music, I want to do everything to the beat and make it fun and poppy. So that was the format I taught. And when I graduated from school in 2009, I was headed out to the East Coast for my first big girl job, and I had to leave that side hustle. And all my students were like, Cassie, but who's gonna teach us Pop Pilates? No one knows how to teach that. So I thought, okay, well, I'll record a little 10-minute ab video, upload it to some site called YouTube, and they can do it whenever they miss me. So little did I know that that was going to be the beginning of my fitness career.
Obviously, it's a new medium. It's not something that a 3-year-old Cassie would say, I want to grow up and be a YouTube influencer. What did you think your career was going to be?
100% I wanted to be a fashion designer. I carried a sketchbook around with me ever since I was 6. I was always drawing evening gowns, red carpet dresses. I just love feminine, romantic, beautiful dresses. And when I turned 16, I told my dad that I want to be a fashion designer. I want to go to FITM. I want to learn how to do pattern making, all of that. And he straight up looked me in the eye and he said, you will not do that. You have 3 choices. You're going to be a doctor, a lawyer, or a failure. That literally broke me, and I ended up going to school for biology to pursue a medical science degree to become a doctor. But my soul was so hollow, and that is not what I wanted to be doing.
When did you start to think like, oh, this might actually be something?
Before I actually graduated from school, I was designing yoga bags, but for myself, because I was teaching Pilates, I had nothing that could carry my yoga mat, my water bottle, my towels, my keys, my CDs at the time, and that was cute. So I decided to go to downtown LA, get some closeout fabrics, make this beautiful glamorous bow bag with gold chains. And when I brought it to class, my students were like, what's that? We want one. So anyway, I found a tiny manufacturer, just made small units and sort of began to sell it on a website, barely anything. But I do remember sending out 3 bags to 3 magazines, and each one was gold for me, right? Because I don't have any inventory, and just praying that someone would write about it. So I'm sitting at my desk at this job and I'm dying. I'm telling you, every morning before work, I would cry. That's how much I did not enjoy this job. So anyway, I'm sitting at my desk and I get a text from my sister, and it's a picture of her finger pointing to something that looks like my bag, and it looks like it's in a magazine. I'm like, what? So I open it up and she says, you're in Shape magazine. And I'm like, what? So I take an early lunch, I drive out to Target, and I start flipping through Shape magazine. And the moment I see that bag, I start crying because it is a sign. And within that next couple weeks, I quit my job. I bought a ticket to China on Friday. I left on Sunday because I said, I'm gonna go, because if I don't give myself the 100% chance to succeed, I'll never know. And I don't want to be someone who lives in regret. So I did that. I went to find a manufacturer, and when I got back to Boston after that Canton Fair, which is one of the biggest manufacturing fairs in the world, and I found my manufacturer, I had kind of nothing to do. So I began to YouTube even more in that intermediary time. And my audience began to grow because of that consistency as well. As my fans started to grow, someone was like, hey, do you have any Blogilates merchandise? And I was like, what do you mean? There's a bag, you could buy the bag. They were like, no, we want a shirt that says Blogilates. And in my head, I'm like, you want a shirt with my screen name on it? Because to me, it was a screen name. It wasn't a brand. And I was like, okay, fine. So then, I buy some shirts from Forever 21. We kind of screen print stuff on it, whatever. It wasn't a big deal. And it sold out in a minute. And that was the moment I knew, okay, Blogilates is a brand.
So you sell out of these t-shirts that you're making in 2011. What was the next product? And then can you take me through the product evolution?
Yeah, so for Blogilates, there was the tees, and then there were yoga mats and back then it was all about the motivational sayings, like train insane and remain the same, train like a beast, look like a beauty, strong today, sore tomorrow, all that kind of stuff. So we sold all of that on yoga mats, on bottles, on sweatshirts, on sweatpants, on booty shorts with the rollover band, like everything. And it was very colorful. It was very, 2012, 13, 14. And then I just got really sick of that style, and I just didn't want to wear it anymore. Like, I grew out of that phase before my subscribers and fans wanted to grow out of that phase, and I decided I'm gonna stop selling that. And everyone was like, but they're selling so well, why do you want to stop selling that? And I was like, well, I'm sick of it. I don't want to sell things that I don't want to wear. And that's really, that is where my inspiration, my heart, and the designs, they always have to be interconnected. If I'm not feeling it, if I'm not gonna wear it, I don't want to be making it. And so the switch happened around 2016, and that's when I decided, okay, I'm gonna stop selling Blogilates stuff. And so that's when Popflex came about. And that was about the technical design, the sports bras, the leggings with pockets and drawstrings and that sort of stuff. So that's when that happened. And so Popflex really began to grow on the clothing, apparel, gym bag side. I mean, everything was doing really, really well. And then it was in, I believe, 2019 or something, 2018, when I had the opportunity to bring Blogilates to Target. And so that got revisited, and at that moment, I had to figure out, okay, well, how is Blogilates gonna be different than Popflex? Because now we have two brands, and this is not something that I had planned for. And now, having had Blogilates at Target for a couple years, we have the premium gold dumbbells and gold weights, the kettlebells, beautiful yoga mats, things that I am very proud of and definitely use in my gym, but it's at a more affordable price. You can touch it right away. And we just added nutrition with the protein powders that went so crazy a couple weeks when we launched, sold out in 46 minutes online. It was insane.
It sounds like you track the growth of the business through the products, the customers, and less in 2014, I hit X number of followers on YouTube, or I hit this many Instagram followers. It seems to me like you're speaking as a founder and CEO and a fitness influencer, but which hat do you feel like you wear more?
Definitely the designer entrepreneur. My soul, my happiness, all of that growth on the product side, that is what lights my fire. Subscribers and stuff, fine, but that doesn't get me excited. It just doesn't.
A lot of entrepreneurs have public platforms. They use it to promote their brands. They use it to promote their companies. Then they themselves become the commodity. You have such a long history of that kind of intertwining of the personal and the professional. How do you separate the two at the end of the day?
It is sometimes hard to separate the two because Cassey and Blogilates are one, and I do get very personal and vulnerable with my content because I use my Instagram and my blog as my diary, and that's why I have such a close connection with my community, because I am so truthful. And that's also why when the negative comments come in, it hurts extra because I've laid it out all there for everyone to judge, I suppose. But how do I separate it? I think the separation is very clear between Cassey Blogilates versus Popflex, which is the design, the innovation, that's very clear and separate. But for Cassey I think as long as I stay true to myself, if I feel like going on a journey and changing myself, then so I'll do it because that's what I want to do.